Hey, Brady, I know you guys have done as good a job as you can of kind of keeping the hype down and keeping the expectations under control, but what is at stake for the program Friday when you guys are back on the national stage, a name brand opponent? What's kind of, how are you guys approaching that as far as what's at stake?
Yeah, this is definitely a huge game for us. We always say each game is the biggest game of the season, but this is the biggest game of our season so far. So we know that. So we got a lot of urgency. We got one day less to prepare, so we're really urgent. We've been starting to prepare even yesterday, watching film on them, and we're excited and we need to be ready to go and excited for the challenge.
Does short turnaround put any extra stress on a player?
It definitely speeds up everything. You got to be a lot more productive with your day, especially keeping up on school and keeping up on film and stuff. You can't waste any time when it's a short week. And so we all know that, and we got a lot of experience, so we'll be ready to go Friday night.
Let's go Jared Lloyd and then Jake Hatch.
Brady, you had some situations in the game last week, and you probably will this week again, where penalties didn't go your way, or the offense was struggling a little bit. How do you address that with the offensive line as a leader and as an experienced player? What do you do to try and help things, kind of get back where you want them to be?
Yeah, I think a big thing with our team this year is we know Kalani always says we're going to face adversity. Each game we're going to have adversity, and so the main way to overcome that is just with extreme effort and loving each other up. So I always just with our guys just try to forget about last play or last series or whatever, and let's just go play our hardest next series and just loving each other up. And if whoever makes the big play, just love them up. And so that's kind of how we deal with adversity when it strikes.
Do you feel like you guys have been better at that this year, just because there's more experience and maybe it's easier to get beyond that?
Yeah, definitely. I remember last year, some of the rough games last year that we lost when it wasn't going good, and it was just down on the sidelines, and it was hard to recover from that. And that's, I think, why we saw a lot of unfortunate losses last year, where I feel like this year we're better at just keeping it going and keep loving each other up.
Brady, I wanted to follow up on that and ask you, do you feel like this program has turned a corner where maybe a game like Toledo or South Florida a year ago where you guys lose that game, now it's something you guys will just stick with, similar to what you said against UTSA, and win that game now?
Yeah, no matter who you play or what week it's on, it's hard to win in college football. There's a lot of good talent. UTSA was a very talented, good team. They played extremely hard. And so we know we can't take any win for granted. Obviously, we didn't play our best, and so we can always go fix things. And it was clear we didn't play our best. But just to get that win, that tough win, to grind it out, it was awesome to see.
I wanted to ask you in terms of, we saw on the interior of that offensive line, it felt like Joe and Clark, you're running it on the left side there, seemed to have the most struggles in that game against UTSA. What can you as a veteran do to help those guys stay calm and stay in the moment?
Yeah, obviously when there's mistakes all across the board, I think all five of us, we realized we didn't have our best game up front. When there was a mistake, I was just like, look, gotta forget it. Like, you can't dwell on it, because it's easy to dwell on mistakes at this level. You're in the spotlight. You're going to watch film on it. It's going to probably be on ESPN, So when you make a mistake, it's easy to dwell on it, but you really just have to learn to move on and just take one play at a time. Because if you can do that, then you can move on and just play better. But if you let it drag out, and you're going to have a rough game throughout the rest of the game.
Okay, let's go with Chris and then Pete.
Yeah, Brady, 4 games in now, you guys, the offense has not really missed a beat. What have you seen as a guy who's been a part of this offense for a while? What has been the difference this year, kind of the step up you're taking?
Yeah, I think the experience is obviously huge. We got a lot of experienced guys. The comfortability of being in this offense. We've had the same offense this is our 3rd year now. And we just all feel very comfortable. We know what everyone's doing. Instead of just knowing what your job is, we know what the tight ends are doing, what the right tackle's doing, what Zach's doing. I just feel like we all have a better understanding of the offense, and you kind of need that to be able to run a fluid, explosive offense.
Coach Grimes is obviously a guy with an offensive line background. Are there aspects of the way this offense works that you think make it I don't know, easier on you guys or stuff that you guys like?
Yeah, definitely. I think Grammy is an offensive line genius, and I think he's really molded our run game to fit our strengths as an offensive line. I think that's what's been most impressive about what he's done. He's taken each one of us and looked at us and said, okay, what's going to be best for us? How can we use our strengths as an offensive line and really exploit that?
Go ahead, Pete.
Brady, I'm wondering if there's a sense of gratification for you to have sort of the BYU identity back with an explosive offense. Obviously, you're a lineman, but it has to delight some that the pass game is really clicking like it is now, and you're racking up yards like you are, and that's kind of what the country, the general college football fan knows BYU for. And I'm wondering if there's a sense in bringing that identity back that's been gratifying for you.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, growing up, BYU's always had an explosive offense, at least back in the day. And so we love to be explosive, especially up front as a lineman. I mean, we love to grind out a 15-play drive that takes 8 minutes off the clock. We love that. But we also love when there's a 40-yard pass and then a 20-yard run and then we score. We love that. We just love running down the field and celebrating with our guys and seeing our guys make plays. There's nothing better, honestly, as an offensive lineman than that.